And we are live. Welcome to another edition of Healthy Living with Dr. Linda. My name is Dr. Linda Mitchell, and I'm super excited about my guest tonight. But before I introduce her, let me share with you who I am. Some of you may not know who I am. I am a certified holistic health coach, also a wellness coach. My goal is to focus on herbs, superfoods, vegetables, and fruits. I'm a master juicer. Not only do I teach my clients how to make juice flavors that are absolutely delicious and flavorable, but that are also nutritional. I focus on helping my clients to get really clean blood work. So when they go to the doctor, they get really great news from their doctor about their cholesterol, their blood pressure, their diabetes, A1C numbers, and just overall energy and well being. I love what I do. We have a health and wellness business, my husband and David and I, and we go out into the community in our mobile truck and we encourage the community to be healthy by teaching. We ask them questions, we allow them to ask us questions, and we teach. When you walk up to our table, we're all about educating. I learn, I live it, and I go out and I teach it. I'm also a Christian counselor. I have a doctorate in theology and a double master's in Christian education. Super excited about my lifestyle. I created this platform to allow myself to tap into the community as a resource. My guests are invited to the show so I can give them their flowers. They're doing amazing things in the community, and I want them to share what they're doing so people can reach out to them for support and most and foremost to give them their flowers because they deserve it. They're making a difference in the community. Let's get started with the show. Tonight, my guest is Vikki Bell. I'm super excited about Vikki. Let me tell you how I met her. I think we are at One Life Fitness. We're at One Life Fitness, and Vikki came over to our table, and I had a conversation with her about the products. She was very attentive, listening very well. And then after a while, she said, "Why don't you come over to my Pilates studio and set your table up at my studio? I think the clients there would absolutely love your products." So I did. She invited me to the studio that she was worked out as a great relationship. And I just really grew fond of Vikki. I grew fond of her passion for Pilates. And tonight I invited her to the show because I want her to share some of the things that she's learned over the years to help us to be stronger as women. So let me share her bio. My guest tonight, Vikki Bell, is a Pilates instructor. She's found her passion. Vikki says Pilates is for life, and that philosophy has been shaped by more than over 1,100 hours of Pilates education and training in contemporary and classical methods, and more than 1,000 hours of teaching individuals and teaching groups. I love Vikki's style. She approaches Pilates not as something to conquer or perfect, but as a practice that continues to reveal what the body needs and what it is capable of doing. Her teaching centers on discovery before performance with strength, mobility, and body awareness serving a larger purpose. She's great at helping people continue doing what matters to them throughout their lives. And we're going to get really into that tonight. I'm super excited to welcome my guest tonight, Miss Vikki Bell, certified Pilates instructor. Well, welcome, Miss Vikki. You look beautiful. Welcome.
Thanks.
Thank you for being a guest on the show tonight. I'm so excited to have you come and share your story. And so we're going to open up by having you share what you want the audience to know about you.
Okay.
Take it
So
away.
yeah, thanks. Well, thanks for having me and a nice introduction.
You're welcome.
So Pilates. I during COVID, well, just before COVID, I had actually joined Club Pilates, and because I needed to move my body, I had just entered my 50s, and I'm like, okay, I need to do something to keep myself like going. And maybe about 5 months later, COVID happened and it shut down the studio. And during that time to stay active, I said, I'm going to go skate. And I skated with a bunch of girlfriends, and I ended up falling and breaking my left ankle. And so now I have a plate and several pins in that ankle. And to avoid getting sick during COVID, I said, I don't want to do um, physical training. I mean, no, sorry. What do you call it? My mind. Um, Physical therapy. And so I said, okay, when Club Pilates opened up again, I start taking classes. And I had noticed so much of that 6, 7 months of me recovering from a broken ankle that I had so much, my ankle was just like really stiff. And it started affecting how the left hip felt. So I started going to classes, didn't really think anything of it other than just a form of exercise. And then I had an opportunity to attend one of their trainings. And then I became a teacher in the fall of 2021. So I've been able to notice a lot in my own body since teaching several hundreds of group classes at Club Pilates. I have since ventured off, and now I am almost halfway through a 600-hour comprehensively modality of that Pilates. And I decided to continue my education because I knew there was more. I'm a curious person. So that curiosity led me to this training. And now I am just more aware and more comfortable in my own body. So yeah, Pilates is like a way of life for me. It's just not one and done. And so I want to be able to help the community and other women who have taken care of others to now finally get a chance to take care of themselves.
Well, you know what I love about you? I love your presence. I love your
Thanks.
confidence. And I want to talk more about the presence that you have in your body since becoming an instructor and helping others with that, because women, especially as we mature 40 and over, we need that confidence, that presence, that strength. And I've got some really great questions for you tonight, but before we go into them, let's pay the bills. I'm going to go right into a commercial, and I'll bring you back right after the commercial.
Sounds good.
Thank you. All right, so tonight we're going to be talking about our organic sea moss, dragon fruit, and pineapple sea moss gel. This right here is a girl's best friend. Not only is she pretty and pink, it absolutely is amazing for women, especially women over 40, especially for your gut health. So let's talk about it. It's a very nutrient-rich combination that supports your digestion, your hydration. It's loaded with antioxidants. Get your words out, Linda. And it helps your overall wellness. Let's talk about each ingredient as it contributes to you and your well-being, especially over 40. So the sea moss provides minerals and trace nutrients, including iodine, which the body uses to make thyroid hormones. It also contains soluble fiber that may support digestive and gut health, which is really important for us as women. The dragon fruit, loaded with vitamin C, boosts your immune system, is loaded with antioxidant compounds, and helps to protect cells from oxidative stress. Oxidative stress are things that try to make you age fast, and we want to keep those things as far from us as possible, and dragon fruit helps to do that. It's loaded with fiber, which is a natural prebiotic and can support a healthy digestion and gut health. Let's talk about that. If you're having challenges with regularity, and because we should be eating and allowing our body to detox and releasing the things through our bowels that the body doesn't need, and we should be doing that on a regular basis. If you're not doing that, then you want this. This is an absolute must for you. The actual dragon fruit is a natural probiotic slash prebiotic. It's loaded with magnesium. It has small amounts of iron. And these nutrients are really great for us as women, especially women over 40. We want to talk also about the actual pineapple. I love pineapple. It's in my juices. I put it in my sea moss because it's loaded with vitamin C. It helps our immune system to function really strong, especially as we prepare in the summer and go into the fall. You want to have a strong immune system. Pineapple is collagen, helps to produce collagen in the body, and it's great for your skin health. And it also is great for normal metabolism and helps with your bone health. I'm super excited about this blend because it has what we need as women. These three ingredients, they work so well together to help and provide hydration, fiber, prebiotics, and antioxidants, vitamin C, and minerals. And so we all are looking for that great gut health and that great skin. And this is the actual blend. The organic sea moss, dragon fruit, and pineapple is great for that. So with that, go to our website, www.sweetheartmitchellcollection, and get your jar today. Now, back to the show. All right. So I've got some really great questions for you tonight, Miss Vikki. So first and foremost, thank you for your introduction and for sharing your story. Sorry to hear about the broken ankle. Have you been skating since then, or have you kind of
No,
put it on the back burner?
never. Back burner.
Okay, so you're done with it.
Yes.
I'm always thinking, should I go skating? I used to be so good at it when I was younger and I really enjoyed it. I had my own pair of skates, and I'm always wondering, should I go skating? But I'm really afraid to fall because then I got to get back up
Oh,
on those skates.
so it's not the falling part with skating. It's really like knowing how to fall, right?
Ah,
Right. So that's the difference between being comfortable in your body. That's why Pilates is like a good thing to like be comfortable in
yeah.
your body.
So when
Yeah.
you say knowing how to fall, talk about that. What do you mean?
Don't brace. Like I'm capable of just
Uh,
rolling with it versus,
oh, don't
right?
tense up. Don't tense up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's a mind like thing to say,
It
oh, I
is.
can fall, right?
Mhm.
And my body's capable of like controlling the fall versus being pushed to fall. No one pushed me, right?
Yes,
I just fell on my own. Yeah. And I'm
yes.
like, yeah. So yeah, never again.
Thank you
But
for that.
don't let me stop you from skating. You should skate. Try it.
Well, I got to learn how to fall gracefully first.
Yes.
Without tensing
True.
up.
Yeah.
So let's
Yeah.
talk about some of the things that you have learned that can help women in general, but specifically, strategically, women over 40. So, what begins to change, or what do you think begins to change in a woman's body after the age of 40 that makes her strength, her mobility, and intentional movement? You talked about falling and not just tensing up. That's intentional movement, right? Why does that become really important, as women age?
So one, I have to put a disclaimer. I'm not a doctor, right? I'm
Yes.
just comprehensive certified in Pilates. So I can
Yes.
tell you from my body, right?
Yes.
Telling the so one thing that changes by the time you're 40, on average, not all the time. I know that a lot of women have circumstances and choices where they decide to have kids later in life. So I don't want to make this a blanket statement for everyone. But
Mm-hmm.
by the time you're 40-ish, you have more time to be yourself, right? When
Mm-hmm.
you're 30s, you're like moving kids around, or you're busy and creating a life for you, like in corporate America or being an entrepreneur. But when you get 40, you start to reevaluate certain things, right? How you spent your time in your 30s. So I think one is just the space you have to breathe a little bit on your own.
Yeah.
Two, you start to notice things in your body, right? So it could be irregular menstrual cycles. That was my case. And I'm thinking,
Mm-hmm.
oh, my body's changing. You
Mm-hmm.
notice weight gain. You're like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
eating the same. So there's weight
Mhm,
gain. You
mhm,
may notice flabbier arms. You know what I mean?
mhm,
Just little things that you could just, more wrinkled hands, like just little things. And so
mhm.
that brings an opportunity for you to say, oh, let me start noticing myself, right? Because
Yes,
our lives up to this point has our bodies anyway, they've just carried us. And we've
yes,
kind of taken it for granted that we're able to move. but then you get a little slower. Putting on the pants may feel like a little bit tighter in the hips. So I
Mhm.
think that part of 40s, you start to notice things, right?
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right
So
on it. You're
mm,
right on it because I've experienced all of the above. And I was just speaking with a potential client last week about being more cognitive, if you will, to to herself. Her daughter's leaving to go to
mhm,
college. She's putting all her energy into taking care of her daughter. Now it's her time.
mhm,
And she said, I'm lost. I'm so
mhm.
used to asking her what she wants to eat and making what she wants. I said, girl, you better get with it. This is
Yeah,
your time now. It's your
honestly.
time. It's her
Mhm.
time to practice self love, get into feeling what she likes, what she enjoys. And I also share with her, I said, your daughter might have children one day, which brings grandbabies. So this is
Yes.
your time to really get yourself strong
Yep.
so you can keep up with those grandbabies if she decides to have some one day. She's like, oh, I never thought about that.
Yep.
She's like,
Yep.
so, I mean,
Yep.
you are right on point. It makes you, as you mature and you start having more time to focus on yourself and your body and being intentional, what's happening to my body. Let's talk about that. I want to spend a few moments talking about that because that's along the lines of self-care and self-love. And we have to be deliberately intentional about that. But what if we haven't practiced that in our lifetime? We've been giving to so much to others and we're just not good at it. What's your take on that?
Um, I think soon as I started noticing that, then
Mm-hmm.
I have parents that are getting sick. So my mother helped me step back a little bit more and
Mm-hmm.
say, oh, what are the next 30 years, God willing, going to look like for me?
Yeah.
Right. So that's a big one.
Yeah.
So you start to evaluate. The first thing you can see is your body. That's the first thing you notice.
That's
And then you
right.
start noticing your mind,
Mm-hmm.
what's clouding it, what's keeping it racing thoughts. And
Yep.
so I think yeah, just knowing that that's happening and what can you do about it. I'm all about, you can't go back in time, but you can definitely say I can influence today, right? And today will create tomorrow.
Yeah.
And even though tomorrow isn't promised to us, we're just given the present time. But with the present time, what can I do intentionally instead of just everyone else pulling me? Now I can take time for myself. And it seems weird to say, "Oh, me? What am I going to do?" And for me personally, Pilates was that thing to help me. It's really a mind body connection to
Yeah.
where I've gotten. I was telling my trainer the other day, I quit easily on myself because
Mm-hmm.
now the training and the day to day, week by week training is starting to exhaust me. And it's
Mm.
not my body, it's my mind that I have to like get over the hump. And I've noticed I'm there for everyone else and I can be loyal to the 10th degree.
Mm.
But to give myself that same push and motivation, I have to work
Mm.
at it. So yeah, it is
Yeah.
it's different when you have to do it for yourself.
It takes practice, am I
Yep.
right? Just like all the training you're going through for your certifications to learn
Mhm.
how to be the best instructor you can be. It's the same thing. We have to teach the mind that we are important,
Yep.
putting ourselves on our own to-do list and checking in. There's so many levels to check in with ourselves. I give my clients 4 levels. I give them check in with yourself emotionally,
Mhm.
check in mentally. You talked about your thoughts. Check in spiritually. How are you doing with your connection to God? And then
Mhm.
also check in physically. How's your body feeling? Is it tired and fatigued? Are you energized and alive and jump
Yep.
up in the morning ready to go? Just check in those 4 areas. And typically, if you can do that, you can find out if there's something that you need to focus on to get back in balance.
I agree.
So one of the things that I used to think is cardio was the bomb. It was the thing, especially when I was in my 20s and
Mhm.
my 30s. But as I got older, I started realizing that maybe not so much to staying fit. Cardio wasn't the thing as I matured. I realized that lifting weights helped me. I did take some Pilates class. I bought a Pilates machine during COVID.
Hmm.
Can you talk about why we should focus more on strength training as we become, more mature and bring it as a part? as well as Pilates as a part of our routine after 40?
Yes. So if I'm understanding correctly, heart attack is still the number one leading cause of
It
women,
sure is.
right? So
Absolutely.
there is a place for cardio, and
Mhm.
walking to me is something you can always do,
Yes.
right? If it's a
Mhm.
storm outside, you can walk around your house
That's
or
it.
drive to the mall and walk around the house. Let me walk around the mall. So I don't want to dismiss cardio. I think it's just part of a holistic way of being for the body.
Mhm. Mhm.
Strength training. Yes, you're right. For women 40 and above, adding that strength training and being intentional about strength training is going to help aid in our ability to like live the lives we want to live, because strengthen our legs, right? Strengthen our
Yes.
arms. It comes down to something simple as being able to carry your own groceries in the house,
There it
right?
is.
Being able to sit down in a chair without falling or swaying, back. I remember
Mhm.
the people back in the day, the old folks used to just like rock, get up.
I remember too.
Yeah, right. So that the strength training is just a component to like not only muscle strength and gaining that, but bone density, right?
Mm.
That progressive load of the weights help with bone density. And then even body composition. Estrogen levels are falling off, right? So we're finding ways to influence and combat that estrogen falling off, which leads to like losing muscle mass at a higher rate than when we
Yeah.
were younger. So yeah, strength training to me is like if we can do like the holy trinity, so to speak. Um, I would say strength training,
Mhm.
cardio,
Mhm.
um, and I would say Pilates. But I don't want to negate the fact that we still need to sleep well. We need to learn how to rest, handle stress. You mean all those things. So I don't want to dismiss those. But yes, if there was something we were going to be intentional about as women, strength training. And Pilates, it complements strength training. It won't take away from it. And it's
Mhm.
definitely not going to replace it. Because with weight training, you can, there's forever. You can push the weight up as far as your body will allow you to. But
Yeah.
what Pilates, I look at it as strength training allows you to ask your body, how strong are you now? And can you get stronger?
Mhm.
Pilates says, what are you going to do with the strength now? How are you going to be able to organize your body?
Mm.
So if you're picking up, say, 24 pack, the 24 pack water bottles, water,
Mhm.
if you're
Mhm.
picking that up and you've gained the strength in your arms with bicep curls, how are you
Mhm.
able to now use your legs with the strength you've gained? But
That's
how are
good.
you taking care of your spine?
Mm.
Are you going to basically dump or put the weight in your lower back to help you lift up? Or do you
Mm.
have enough core strength to help you support your spine as you lift from, going from a squatted position up to a standing position? So it complements great body awareness with Pilates.
Yeah.
Our We have like 6 principles, and one of them is control. So
Mhm.
not control as in tensing up, like as if I was going to fall or prevent myself from falling with my skates on, but
Mhm.
more like I'm in control because I know how to stand in my feet. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So there's a difference between being able to control something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like when some people say when you have self control, that kind of
Mhm.
control. You could do something, but you're choosing not to. That's what I mean by control within the body, not tense, not anger. Yeah, but yeah.
So can you talk to us about the difference between Pilates on a mat and Pilates on a reformer?
Okay. So Joseph Pilates, he originally called his work contrology. But now we call it by his last name, Pilates. And it's in a way, to honor him and his work. So he originally had the mat, and then he created a whole system around the mat. So you have the reformer that came along next, and then other apparatuses like a chair, a ladder barrel, other smaller barrels, a pedal pull, and it was all to find connections with our appendages, arms and legs, how they're connected to the trunk, and how we can keep the trunk or the torso or our abs um, lifted and strong so they can
Mhm.
protect the spine in whatever shape we want to create it. So the mat is really harder than the reformer.
Mm.
The mat in some ways is either providing you support with your feet in the straps, your hands in handles. So
Mm-hmm.
it's helping you find those connections with your body. And it's saying that connection that you were able to find, can you replicate it on the mat with nothing touching you? So that mat is really harder if you're doing it correctly. And then the reformers there to help you either gain strength because there are springs, so you
Mm-hmm.
are adding resistance. So in
It's
some ways, it is building strength
yeah.
for those that are more deconditioned to begin with. But the mat is where it's at. Like so far as really challenging that mind body connection, your breath. Can you control the range of motion, say in your legs and your feet, legs and your ankles, or your hands or your shoulders? Yeah.
You know, I remember when I took Pilates at the same studio that you introduced me to, actually
Okay.
reintroduced me into. And I remember I was taking a beginner class, and during the class, I got emotional, like I was ready
Hmm.
to cry. What can you explain to me what happened? Do you have any idea why that would have happened during a like a Pilates session on the reformer?
Where, so let me ask, were you like at the beginning, end, or middle? Like where?
We were in the middle of the class and I was going through the process. I wasn't having any difficulty doing the actual you know, exercises that
Mhm.
she was sharing. And I just felt like I wanted to cry. And I was like, what is happening?
So I can't speak to why you wanted to cry, but I will say maybe that was the first time you took time just to be with Linda,
Mm.
right? Walking, you could be out in nature. Good thing, right, to enjoy the sunshine, the sounds of birds, people walking by.
Yeah.
But Pilates, you're laying on a reformer and you may be amongst other people, but maybe
Yeah.
you had time just for you and you just noticed.
It was incredible. I just let the tears run. You know, I didn't understand it. I accepted it. And
Mm,
one of the things that I do realize, and after that, I bought a Pilates reformer for our home
okay.
because I wanted my husband to benefit as well. And I noticed that when I'm consistent with Pilates, my body feels longer,
Yes.
leaner, tighter, and more, I feel more confident.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, when I do the Pilates. And we recently released the reformer because we had it for a while and I was like, I think we need to let this go, give it to give it
Oh, so,
away or something.
mhm.
So I don't have it anymore. So I'm trying to figure out what my next steps are going to be for me, whether it's going to be taking, joining a gym or, just taking classes again, but I actually miss the way that I felt.
Mhm.
And it's I think you hit it on the head when you said it's like you have more control of your body and you just feel more. I felt like I was in my body and happy to be in my body when I was doing Pilates because of how it helped my body to look and feel.
And
Yeah.
it is, I to not to cut you off, but that time of being in your body, um,
Mm-hmm.
it does really make you appreciate that it can move in the way it moves.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's talk about women that are going through perimenopause and menopause, um, how Pilates can help them to, as they go through and transition through this process. I'm recommending to a lot of my clients that they start doing Pilates or take a beginner class or learn about it as a process to help them in their body as they're going through these changes. What do you recommend for them? Because a lot of them are complaining about the symptoms. They complain about the night sweats, the mood swings, the hot 1 minute, cold the next minute.
Mhm, mhm.
What's been your experience as to how Pilates could help them through that process?
So when I meet or teach a beginner or someone who's never been exposed to Pilates and they haven't really like worked out in a while, but they
Mm-hmm.
know that okay, it's time for them to do something. I first tell them that okay, Pilates is not a weight loss. That's not the goal. Weight loss.
Mm.
It can help change like the composition of the body, because depending on how well or what your condition was prior to starting Pilates, there is some strength training aspect to Pilates. You are going to get stronger in your core and your abs. And
Yes.
even your inner and outer thighs. I've noticed a lot of women were very weak in our inner and outer thighs, so you will notice big strides in those areas. But for menopause or perimenopause women, it can't get rid of hot flashes. Like per se, there's no scientific evidence, but just the fact that you're taking care of your body, it makes you want to go talk to your doctor more, right? Because you're just that much more in tune to say, okay, there's something not right about this. I
Yeah.
used to be able to walk for 20 minutes and not feel like so hot, right? So those little tiny things you may start noticing. I will say, because estrogen levels are dropping, that the ability to influence weight gain, I mean, muscle gain is there. So I would say it's a nice way to experience those gains in muscle mass without it being so hard on your joints,
That's
right? So
good.
impact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
That's
that's
good.
one thing I'll say. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
always think of you're going to preserve what you have now. And the goal is to build upon that. But it's never to be back in our 30s. So
Yeah.
body shaming with, well, I need to lose 30 pounds. That's not the goal.
That's
Right?
unrealistic. It's just
Yeah. Right.
unrealistic.
Yeah. So yeah, I just think it's good to have that healthy view of getting older doesn't mean your body's not strong. We just need to change the definition of strong, right? So going into our 50s, 60s, 70s, the definition of strong may not look like you have a six pack or that you have cut arms like Angela Bassett. Even though she's in her 60s, she still has it, together. So I'm not saying it's impossible, right?
Right.
But for those who cannot get that cut in their body or whatnot, I don't want us to walk away thinking, well, then I'm not doing Pilates right, or Pilates is not for me.
Yeah.
I just think of strength as looking like I can get down on the floor and get up off the floor after playing with my grandchild.
Yes.
I
That's
can
it.
bring I can bring my own groceries into the house. Right? Like statistically, they say women are outlive men on average. I don't know how many years, but on average, we outlive men. So if you happen to be married, right, and then he leaves, then it's just you still want you don't want to become childlike to your children if there's any children around, right?
Right.
So you
Yeah.
want to maintain your independence. So I say Pilates is a way for you to have more opportunities to choose how you want to live.
I love that.
Yeah.
Let's take a commercial break and pay some bills, and we'll be right back. So this next commercial break, I wanted to bring this on because a lot of what we do in the community requires parents walking up to our table with their children. And this video that I'm going to share you is a typical reaction that we get from kids when they're trying our products. We usually ask the parent to try our juices first, and with their permission, give it to their children if they think the kids will like it. And so this is a family that came up to the table, and this is a typical reaction that we get when kids come to our table to try our juices. Go ahead, you try it.
No, you get that one.
Get the little one.
Get the little one, Zach, because you know how you are.
All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Thumbs up.
Taste it.
She's scared. Sorry. Thumbs up or thumbs down. All right. All right. I love sharing that. I absolutely love sharing that. Because first of all, if you didn't notice, the juice was green. Okay. And I can typically tell about a child's diet when they look at our juice colors as to how they're eating at home. A lot of times if they want the green juice or they want to try the green juice, they're eating vegetables at home and they're not afraid of the green. And if they choose like a orange juice or a red juice, typically they're probably not eating as much vegetables because they want to start with a color that they're familiar with. The backstory behind our juices is we started making our juices for children because we wanted them to have the minerals, nutrients, and the vitamins that they're not getting from their food in our juices when they drink our juices with their food. When you go to a typical restaurant, you might see for a kid's meal chicken nuggets or a hamburger, French fries, mashed potatoes. They may or may not have a vegetable on the side, but typically it's French fries or something that doesn't have those minerals that our juices have. Now, our juices are infused with sea moss, so they have 92 minerals that give the body energy and boost the immune system. So when your kids drink our juices with their food, the minerals that they're not getting from the food are actually infused into the juice to help them to have a better, stronger immune system, to help them get the minerals they're not getting from the vegetables that they're not eating. But and foremost, a lot of time kids are very picky eaters. So they're eating the same thing over and over and over again, which means their body is getting the same thing that could be lacking the actual minerals, nutrients, and vitamins that they need. So not only do our juices taste delicious, they don't have any added sugar. They don't have any added food coloring or preservatives. And we make them in small batches and we make them fresh before we go out to our events. And so you have the freshness there on top. So I wanted to share that clip as a commercial because kids love our juices. They absolutely love them. And as a special treat, we encourage the parents to make popsicles from our juices. We give them the little 1 to 2 ounce cups that we serve the samples in, tell them to fill it up, put it in the freezer, and after dinner, give them a nice little treat in the form of a popsicle before they go to bed. All right, that's our commercial break. Let's bring my guest, Miss Vikki Bell, back. All right, Miss Vikki, welcome back. So I wanted to continue by talking about the practical things that women, as we do throughout the day, like lifting groceries, sitting down, getting up, without having to push up. These things, the core, first of all, the core. My core is really strong because I used to teach spinning classes back in the day. You didn't know that about me.
Mm.
Uh, that was one of the things that I did when my kids were toddlers. I worked as a instructor in a gym, and I fell in love, like yourself. You fell in love with Pilates. I fell in love with spinning. For those of you that don't know what spinning is, it's an actual exercise that's done on a bike, and you do it to music in a class. And there's specific bikes that are made for this particular activity, and you have to do it with the support of an instructor that's certified, and it's really great for your core. So my core is still strong as a result of taking the time to become certified as a spinning instructor and actually going through that process. I've never lost that strength. I can get on a Bosu ball and I can flip it on the blue side or flip it on the black side. And it really, my core strength has never gone away. So my question for you, Miss Vikki, is most women don't have that core strength from activities that they've done in their youth, to, rely on as they get older. What and how does Pilates and strength training, if you will, help them to have that core strength that they need in order to be able to do some of the things like getting up, sitting down, lifting things, not using their back? How does these two activities help them?
So with Pilates,
Mm-hmm.
it's always, we call it the powerhouse, anything between the shoulders and the hips. And that
Mm,
even includes your back, right?
mhm,
Because all
mhm.
those muscles in your trunk or your torso is helping to support the spine.
Yeah.
So if those muscles are weak, the spine can start to decompress, right?
Mhm,
And then other parts of your body will start compensating to help you stay lifted. So some of us may have a forward gaze, right?
mhm,
Rounded shoulders, right?
mhm,
Collapsing in on ourselves if we sit a lot. So those are
mhm.
just part of like living, right?
Yeah.
But to start to combat that, because we've had more years of gravity on our bodies, we have to intentionally keep it. So with Pilates, we're always mindful of Centering the powerhouse, I'd like to say it generates the power for the limbs to move,
Mm.
right?
I
So if
love
I'm
that.
saying, yeah, so it's like it's power from the center and it's moving out. So all of our exercises are about finding that stability as
Mm-hmm.
we strengthen and lengthen the appendages, the arms and legs. So you'll never get away from the powerhouse being turned on and that we need it to move efficiently throughout the rest of our body. So a lot of our work for just to combat everyday life, I have noticed rounded shoulders. This one more in particular.
Mm-hmm.
So it affects when I lay down on the mat.
Mm-hmm.
So we have exercises where we do a lot of just extension or opening up the shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
So that way it'll help the spine lift. I know I had surgery 2, 3 years ago, and
Mm-hmm.
as a result, they were prepping me for the surgery. So I did an MRI, and I found out that I have compression in my cervical spine, and then some
Mm-hmm.
compression in my lower spine. So knowing how the spine is shaped naturally, a healthy spine, then I'm on both ends. I'm compressed, so that's
Mm-hmm.
starting to put some pressure in my rib cage area.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to really open up my chest and add some more extension or flattening to my rib cage.
Yeah.
So that is the powerhouse that I've grown aware of. I always knew when I was younger, 12 years old, they did that test in PE where you have scoliosis. I
Yep.
have
I
a
remember.
little bit of I have a little bit of scoliosis. So that
Mm-hmm.
does affect me. And I think it's starting to affect my left side.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't help that I broke my ankle on the left side. So all of that, I'm thinking, oh, I need strength. I need core strength.
Yeah.
So because it'll start affecting your lower back, you may have like chronic back, like my back is always hurting. Let me just stretch it out or pop it. But it probably is part of it could be to help strengthen the abs to see if it helps take some pressure off the lower back, right? And you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned your ability to stand on a Bosu, either black side or blue side.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a lot to do with balance, but yes, your powerhouse has to be turned on or strong for you to
Yeah.
keep that spine uplifted. And then, of course, you're working against gravity, right? So,
Yes.
yeah, it's a lot. That powerhouse is a perfect way to strengthen, to create efficiency throughout the rest of your body, even to move, go up and down the stairs, go up the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if your core is like weak,
Yeah.
some other part of your body is going to compensate for that weakness. It's a good thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because we can stay upright and we can still walk. But
Yeah.
over time, it becomes a bad thing because then those things that weren't meant to hold up the spine is now helping, right? The hip favoring one leg when you're standing, like it's just, yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. A
Little
lot of
things over time, you don't notice, but then
yeah.
something you start to notice, and it's like, oh, it's been years of doing that same movement pattern.
Yeah, and it's over like compensating for the weakness that's on the other side. I've had customers say, "That's my good leg," or
Yeah, yeah,
I like,
yeah,
don't say that. Both of your legs are good.
yeah,
You have to speak over your body and actually do something to make both of your
yeah,
legs strong.
yeah,
And but
yeah.
they get used to the fact that one side is maybe not as strong as the
Mhm.
other side, and they accept that, and it's it's a easy conversation for me to have with them, but it's like you said, your mind, you have to allow your mind to make the transition to give your body what it needs if your body feels like it's lacking something.
Mhm, mhm.
That's a mind thing,
Yeah,
right? It's that self-care,
yeah.
self-love. And so, let's talk about like when you're in your classes and you're teaching, and you may notice more mature women versus younger women. Is there anything that you're picking up on that, the more mature women are experiencing or going through during your classes? Or is it a person? Is it a individual thing more so?
So it may just be me because I'm an older, mature woman, so I'm kind of biased. But
Mhm.
I'm looking at older women And just in general, is not for every. I don't want to pit younger, older. Um,
Right.
but I will say, older women are more curious about their bodies.
Mm.
They don't want to just perform the exercise,
Yeah.
and maybe because their body's talking to them, like, wait, that hurts, or that was hard to circle the arm around. You know what I mean? So maybe there's things going on in our bodies to where we're more curious. But I think we ask more questions in general. They'll come up to me after class and say, "Hey, I'm wondering why this, or I'm wondering why my ankle and during footwork is clicking." And so I just think, yeah, I just think they're more curious. I think the younger women, or there's men as well, but the younger people, I think that they're younger, so their body can just move without, not in general, because I know some women, younger lady who had gone through cancer treatment. So I don't want to belittle people's, put people in a box, but
Right.
just the ideal of like, oh yeah, I can jump, or I can do a cartwheel. Whereas
Yeah.
like, I haven't done one in several years. Could I still do that? Like, there's a big
Yeah.
difference between being curious. Yeah,
That
yeah,
reminds me of a time where I asked my husband, I said, "Can you skip? Do you remember how to skip?" And we both started laughing and skipping, and it was just
yeah,
so much fun to just, do something like that that we hadn't done in a very long time to bring that youthful side,
yeah.
back to ourselves. When you talked about the grandkids and keeping up with the grandkids, that resonated with me. I am so motivated to do everything now to keep up with my
Uh,
grandchildren. It's so important because they go from, one event to the next. What are we doing next? What are we doing next?
yep.
Whether it's the playground or getting on the floor and drawing or, doing a puzzle and the table. A lot of these movements I've noticed, I said, okay, I've got to be able to get on my knees. I got to be able to get down and get up. I got to be able to, walk fast or run with them if they need me to run with them, or if they're on their bicycle, I need to be able to,
Yep.
when they're learning how to ride without the training wheels. There's
Mhm.
so many activities that being stronger, as a mature woman for me are so important. So I'm really motivated right now, doing everything from, taking more protein in my body to,
Mhm.
starting strength training again, because, I'll start and then I'll stop and, and then now I want to incorporate Pilates into my routine, as well. I feel like the when you have the right motivation in your life to take care of yourself, whether it's for me or for my grandkids,
Mhm.
it's important to have that motivation versus not having it, you know.
I agree.
And when I spend time with them, I notice I'm not as winded anymore because when I'm not with them, I'm consciously doing things to take better care of my movement and my activity. And do you want to talk about that? Anything else you want to add regarding that?
I would say movement. So I have a 2-year-old grandson, and I just
There it
love him
is.
to death. Yeah, I
Mhm.
just love him. I will say, yeah, it's been fun, being able to, like, when he wants to jump, that I can jump with him.
Yeah.
And I do think, maybe about 3 months ago, I was experiencing some serious pain across my left hip.
Okay.
And during my Pilates practice, I noticed that my left foot will turn in, like it was gaining strength, I guess, by turning in. I don't know, but the other foot was like straight on. And
Mm-hmm.
I've since found out that I don't stand on that side of the outside of my left foot. Right? It seems weird. So I wasn't feeling it. And I don't have neuropathy, but I just didn't feel it. So now
Right.
I'm being more mindful because I was really kind of jumping on the instep, like my
Mm-hmm.
big toe, and I wasn't landing fully on the outside. So it has taken away that pain across my ankle. I mean my hip. So I
Mm-hmm.
will say Pilates has shown me that your body isn't isolated. Your leg is just not your leg. It can
Right.
affect the
It's
opposite hip.
connected. Mm-hmm.
Yes, everything's connected. So I say where there's a zig, there's a zag in your body.
Yeah, I
So
get that.
don't just think, oh, my hips just bother me. It's probably the way your feet are, or standing, how you stand in your feet.
Yeah.
So I will say, knowing just how to stand, I didn't think about that because I'm like, I just stand upright. Right. I just stand. But I've
Yeah.
noticed being able to stand, washing dishes, being able to stand on one foot to see how you can balance. So sometimes I'll play around with one foot up and just balance on one leg, you mean one foot, to see if I
Yeah.
can feel my entire foot and a little bit of my arch like lifted to kind of find more strength and flow up through my leg, my muscles.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that has helped me like when it's time for me to carry groceries. I have a somewhat long sidewalk and I don't have a garage. So I will come up the sidewalk with the groceries in both hands, but then I need
Mm-hmm.
to switch sides to unlock the door. And so
Right.
now, but I know to say, okay, use part of this side of your body or your torso to help you stay lifted versus like just dropping. So I am just more aware of my body to where, and then I
Yes.
said, standing your legs. So I'm just more in tune to like, are you standing or are you just kind of like this there and letting the weight take you over? So just those little small things of, we're going to Greece pretty soon. So I want to
Mm-hmm.
be able to take my own luggage and place it overhead. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like down.
absolutely.
Yeah, like those, I
Yes.
don't need my husband to pick it up for me, you know what I mean? Or a stranger. Like I
Yeah.
can just do it myself. So it's a big that having that overhead shoulder mobility, it really does help.
Yeah, your
Like
arms look
more than
great,
one
by
thing.
the way. You keep lifting them
Oh,
up.
thanks.
They look
But you
amazing.
know, that does come from lifting weights. And to
Mhm.
be fair, it is partly genetic, right? Some people are just more predisposed to having muscular arms, right? Or muscular legs.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say that Pilates and strength training will give you someone else's body. Just respect your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
a big
love
one.
that. I love that. Own what you have and,
Yeah,
do the best you can with what you got versus comparing yourself to people
yeah.
like Angela Bassett who probably have a trainer for 24 hours a
Yes.
day.
And someone making her own food. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Making her food. Yeah,
you don't know what she's going through to get those arms.
yeah.
It's like work with what you have and make the best of it. That's what I do. That's my advice to my clients. And
Hmm.
I do want to talk about the self-care and the self-love as it relates to us as women.
Okay.
One of the things that I did the other day is I went and I got, I go and I get my measurements on my bras
Oh,
on a regular basis. That's really important to me. I try to go once a year. But then I looked up and the last time I've been, it's been 2 years, you know? And you said women that are, more mature have a tendency based on what you've seen to be a little bit more conscious and deliberate and, maybe ask a little bit more questions because they're noticing things per
hmm.
se. And, I just want to encourage women to, whatever age you are, whether you're over 40, under 40, be more conscious and deliberate of yourself and what matters to you. Like with me going to get myself measured for my bras. I used to go every year, and 2 years had slipped by and I hadn't gone. I was like, oh my God. I had just gotten so busy in life. And I think that's what happens with us. We just get so busy focusing on other people. Recently I'm shopping for new sneakers as well. I'm taking the time to go to a store, get my foot measured, see how my foot may have changed as a result of time going by, if you will, my activity, and just making sure that I purchase shoes that are, they might cost a little more, but it's what
Hmm.
I need and I'm worthy of it. And that's the self-love, that's the self-care, checking in with yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. Is so important for us as women, in general, because we give so much to others. And one of the things that they say on the airplane, put your oxygen mask on first before you even help a child, because you have to be, you know, your best before you can help anyone else. And, as we prepare to wrap the show up, I just want to, ask you to share any final thoughts or comments regarding that.
um, Pilates, any form of exercise, is an investment. Think of it as an investment, not as something you have to do, but something that you get to do. And just show up, right? 2 days a week consistently is way better than pulling, trying to do 5 days a week when you know your life's just busy, right? So there's always grace and room for you to stay curious. And if it's just consistently 2 days a week for the next several years, then so be it. But just consistency, show up for yourself. You're worth it.
I love that. Consistency is
Mhm.
absolutely the key. It really is for just about everything in life. So tell folks
Mhm.
how can they reach you? How can they take your classes? Where are you actually physically located for them to come and take your classes?
Okay, so right now I'm sitting in my home studio, so you can see one of my towers behind us or behind me. But you can catch me at Busybody starting on October 1st. It's in Hampton. It's off of Floyd or Neil Armstrong Magruder Highway. It's off of there. And my number is 757-218-2228. I do have a presence on Instagram. It's only 2 posts because life gets busy. But you can catch me over there at the Pilates for Life on Instagram. Yeah, I'm here.
Excellent. Thank you for being a resource to the community and for just encouraging, women, people, men, you said men are in your classes as
Mhm.
well, in general, to be their absolute best. Any final thoughts as we end the show, as you wrap up today?
Any wrap up thoughts? I really enjoy what I do. My goal is to, of course, impact as many people that want me to help them on their journey to invest in themselves. Like I know the value of it in my own body. I, as an instructor, even though I'm going through training now, I still have my self practice, and I
Mhm.
still have to show up even when I don't feel like it, because I know that my 50-something-year-old self, God willing, I'll be able to look back on my time now at say 60, 65, and well, I won't regret any of the moments that I showed up for myself.
I
Right?
love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And it's important to be an example for those that we're out here helping. And you're doing that excellently well. I love how you show up.
Thanks. I was telling my instructor the other day, my teacher, she has a studio in Norfolk, so I have to give her a quick plug, Everly Bryant. Um, but she motivates me a lot. So to have a teacher, yes, you can take group classes. Yes, I offer them. Yes, they are more cost effective, but having privates for however long you need to have privates, or even going back to a private after you've done a class, it's invaluable because it's your body. You have someone else, you can discuss your body, and there's nothing like it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you have the privacy to do
Yep.
so,
Yep.
right? And the one-on-one helps them to focus on you, and you may see a better improvement faster because you're getting that one-on-one
Yep.
support,
I agree.
right?
Yep. Hmm.
Yeah. Well,
Yep.
thanks for being an amazing guest tonight. I really
Yeah. Thanks for
appreciate
having
you
me.
showing up tonight and giving us some information that can help us be our best.
Yes. Thanks so much. I'll see you guys around.
All right, so that was Miss Vikki Bell, certified Pilates instructor. I love surrounding myself with women who are absolutely amazing, that are doing fabulous things in the community to help others to be their absolute best. And that's what Vikki is doing as she goes through her certifications. Not only is she doing that for herself, but she's also taking personal classes with a mentor to encourage her, to master her craft. I love that. Again, you can find Vikki at Busybodies in Hampton, Virginia. Her number is 757-218-2228. Please reach out to her, especially if you have a desire to just be your best and do your best with the support of, someone else, a mentor, wellness coach, Pilates, certified Pilates coach as well. So thanks for being a great guest tonight, Miss Vikki. I appreciate you. So as I prepare to end the show tonight, I just want to reiterate as women the importance of us checking in with ourselves, checking in mentally, checking in. What does that mean? Let me just go through each one. Mentally, what are your thoughts? What thoughts are you having about yourself? What thoughts are you having about your body? What thoughts are you having in your mind? Are they positive? Are they negative? Where are your thoughts leaning as it relates to your body? Don't compare yourself to other people. Be the best version of you that you can be. And what that means is taking care of yourself, taking care of your mind mentally. Mental health is real. And the thoughts that you have on a daily basis, they matter. Okay, they really matter. As a coach and certified holistic health coach, I deal with women and helping them to just be more positive in their mindset. Some of the things that, as I'm coaching them, that they say, they don't even realize that they're saying about themselves. May say it verbally, not thinking about it because it's been playing over in their mind over and over and over again. And it's something that's not positive about themselves. Or, a lot of times my customers, they might say, my bad leg. I'm like, your bad leg? What do you mean your bad leg? Or, this is my good leg. Both of your legs are good. You're walking every day. Let's speak over your body. Speak over both of your legs. Both of your legs need to know that you feel that they're strong. Maybe you've had some challenges with one of your legs, but there's nothing that can help you better than, maybe the doctor or physical therapy or, some type of support out there based on what you're going through. Also, check in with yourself emotionally. How are you feeling emotionally? Are you feeling more positive, or are you feeling more, on, anxious side or depression? It's important that you understand how you're feeling so you can get the support that you need, right? You might need more, because you're going through perimenopause or menopause, more herbs to support you, or fruits and vegetables to support your hormones right now. You may not be feeling like yourself. A lot of my customers say that they notice as they're going through the perimenopause that their body just starts feeling different and they know something is off, right? And I always encourage, like Vikki did her disclaimer, we're not medical doctors on this show. I'm specifically not a medical doctor, even though I am Dr. Linda Mitchell. My PhD is in theology, the study of God. Anything we share on this show is not meant to diagnose or treat. This information we share is for information purposes only. And it's our perspective, right? We have an opinion. We always say consult with your doctor and make sure that you are being guided by your medical doctor prior to doing anything or receiving any type of treatment. And so, with that, I say, as women, we also have to check in with ourselves spiritually. How is our spiritual connection with God? Are we feeling like we can talk to God and have a conversation with Him on a really intimate level? Are we feeling like our prayers are being answered? Are we feeling like we're taking quiet time? Which is so critical right now these days because the world is vying for your attention. Always somebody is vying for your attention, whether it's social media, whether it's your um, children, whether it's your job, your community, your church, your husband. Somebody's vying for your attention. But what are you doing to give yourself that time alone, that me time, right? That time that gives you time to just check in. That's really important for you, especially if you're a caregiver or you're giving a lot to others. So take some time spiritually to check in, with yourself and to find out how are you feeling, you know? And then the last thing I say is physically, how are you feeling about your body? Me personally, right now, my goal is to make sure I can love on my grandkids and keep up with them and stay healthy and active as long as I'm able to. And I'm taking some changes in my diet, changes in my activity level to make sure that I can personally commit to being my best self, not only for myself, but also for my grandchildren. That's motivating me. What's motivating you physically to be your best self? Not comparing yourself to anyone else or trying to get to be that perfect size, but being your best absolute self physically that you can be, because you matter, because it makes a difference whether you can carry those groceries without asking for help, because it makes a difference that you can go up those stairs, without holding on to a rail, because you know that your core is strong and your legs are strong and your body is balanced, right? There's so many things to consider as we age. And, in the shower, just making sure we're taking extra precautions to be strong, right? Because we're stepping on wet pavement and we want to make sure we're secure and we feel confident as we're doing that. And so this show today was all about being stronger as we mature 40 and up, right? But it matters at any age. truthfully. But specifically 40 and up, being stronger in your body, doing things like Pilates or strength training, taking the time to walk, like Vikki mentioned, to allow your body to just get that cardio and get that strength from, she said, your shoulders, in between your shoulders and your, I think she said your hips, that core, right? And making sure that you have that strong spine as well. Oh, so many things to think about in this world, right? And then on top of that, we go through perimenopause and we go through menopause, and we have to make sure our hormones are balanced, and we have to make sure we're at 100% so we can give, because as women, we're typically giving to others to make sure that, all is well. All right. So with that, I will end the show and say you can reach me, Dr. Linda Mitchell, on all social media platforms at Sweetheart Mitchell Collection. We offer fresh cold pressed juices, organic sea moss, whipped shea butters, massage candles, and we have over 6 different syrups to help boost your immune system. And I just want to say that I am getting into doing more consultations in a one-on-one basis with my clients to help you with your blood work. I want to help you get clean blood work when you go to the doctor so you're not stressed and worried about your cholesterol. You're not worried about your blood pressure. You're not worried about your sugar, your A1C, and I can help you do that with the support of a consultation and also offering you some ideas to incorporate herbs, teas, fresh cold pressed juices, superfoods, as well as vegetables into your diet. And that's what I consider to be my specialty. I'm very good at it. I love doing it. And I've been able to help a lot of my clients to be successful in that manner. You can reach me on my social media platforms by sending me a DM or a personal message right from the platform. And I look forward to hearing from you guys. Have a great evening, and thanks for joining the show, whether you're watching the replay or whether you watched us live. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Be well.